Hello to all of my shadow dancers for, in this iteration, the month of September, but of course you could be doing this anytime. It is day 8 of the program. And yes, what I posted yesterday about taking a rest was actually day 7. And it was also a bit of a test. So the first question that I have for you is, did you rest? Okay, did you actually rest? And if you did, or if you tried to rest, or if you think you rested, what is it that you did? And was it hard, right? Because when we are trying to unpack our shadows, when we are trying to get, to release old patterns, so that new ones, new healthier ones, new less reactive ones, more loving ones can come in, right? Or at least we can be at a calmer state, right? There's a transition period, right? So that when, it's sort of like having surgery, right? If something is taken out, like if you had cancer surgery or something and you had something taken out, right? Then there's a hole that has to sort of fill itself up, and it has to be stitched and it has to heal, right? But it's kind of uncomfortable while it's happening, right? The healing process isn't necessarily comfortable, right? So the question is, when you actually sit still, when you rest, do you try to fill that space with something, right? Do you find yourself feeling the need to be busy, to be distracted by social media or TV, to be doing errands? This is part of busyness. To be running errands, to be cleaning the house, to eating, to drinking, to calling somebody on the phone, to, what is it that you find yourself trying to fill space with? Okay, because that can also be a clue as to what the shadows that you're working with are. Excuse me. Because if you're feeling the need to be busy, for example, then it may be that you don't feel like you either exist or are worthwhile unless you're busy, unless you have a job, right? And that's not true. You are totally worthwhile. You are totally beautiful. You are a wonderful creature at rest. And remember, healing requires rest, right? Actual rest. But in this very busy, easily distracted world, it is very difficult to actually rest. And by that, I mean, for example, yesterday, I walk my dog every day, and that is a wonderful experience. So I do that anyway. But if I was really exhausted, I might just take him on a shorter walk. I found myself tired on the walk, which is part of the reason I was like, oh, today's rest. And ironically, it was Sunday, which is sort of one of the traditional days of rest. Another day of rest is Friday for for some religions, and then Saturday, the Muslims on Friday, or Islam on Friday, Judaism on Saturday, and I think, and Latter-day Seventh-day Adventists also, I think Saturday is the day of rest, and then Sunday has been a traditional Christian day of rest. So anyway, but there is a day of rest built into an awful lot of organized religion, right? And I think, and a day of rest is, well, it is essential for healing. That's all you really need to say. So if we go back to the surgery analogy, you've taken something out, that space has to heal. It has to heal, right? It has to be stitched. It has to heal. That's not comfortable. That can be very painful, but it also requires rest. What kind of rest? It requires sitting down, lying in your bed, taking naps, right? Not exerting yourself, not cleaning your house, right? Even if you just give yourself an hour or two, a long bath, right? I took a long soaking bath with bath salts yesterday. That's one of the things that I did. And then the heat of the bath had sort of increased how tired my body felt. I think it really relaxed me, right? So then I went and got in bed, and I took a nap, and I read a little bit, but not something that was related to any of the work that I'm doing, right? Something completely off topic. I did take a class, but I took it lying in my bed on the computer, right? So I never got in my car yesterday. I thought of about 6 reasons why I needed to go to the grocery store, and I didn't do it. Okay, so enough. So you understand that, right? Okay, so the rest was a test. 1, did you rest? 2, did you find it hard to rest? 3, did you think you were resting when you were cleaning your house or doing something that was sort of tangentially work, or filling it with some sort of distraction like shopping, or, things like this, like shopping for stuff that you didn't really need, or, running errands or whatever. Okay. So when we find ourselves releasing old patterns, and before we know what the new patterns are, right? And we don't want to be so quick to assume we know what they are, right? We need to allow space to allow those new patterns to form, for spirit, the universe, God, whatever you want to say, to show us what those new patterns might be, what those new ways of being might be once we start to release these shadows, right? That requires some stillness, but stillness is really hard. So here is what I suggest. When you find yourself in that uncomfortable space between releasing the shadow, identifying it and working on releasing it, and before you know what the new way of being is, okay, I suggest you do this. I invite you to breathe. That when you feel like, oh, I've got to go run an errand. Oh, I've got to clean the kitchen. Oh, I've got to cook. I've got to shop. I have to eat. I have to have a drink. I have to take a puff. Whatever it is, right? When you feel that way, I want you to pause. I want you to breathe really deeply. Okay. I want you to take in as long as you can, and inhale for as long as you can. I want you to exhale as long as you can, and I want you to count it. And see if you can make the exhale longer than the inhale. We'll do that 3 times. So we're going to do that right now. By my count, that exhale was 10. I'm going to do it again. Inhale as long as you can. Hold. I think I made it to 12 that time. I think the in count was about 8 or 9. We're going to do it one more time. Hold. Exhale. I think I made it to 14 that time. Okay, so take at least 3 deep breaths. The more, the better. The longer you can sit and breathe, great. And then once you have taken some really deep, at least 3 deep breaths, and you feel your body sort of relaxing a bit, breathe normally. And then I want you to either repeat out loud or to yourself one of 2 things. The first I'm going to suggest is, or invite you to try, is a Sanskrit mantra, Aham Prema. Aham Prema. Like Amen, but with an H. Aham Prema. Prema, and the R can roll, but you know what? If it doesn't, Aham Prema is fine. Okay. Aham Prema. And it means I am divine love. That's what it means. I am divine love. And you are divine love. And I am divine love. Okay. We are all part of that divine love. Right? We're all connected by that divine love. So you just repeat it. Just repeat it. And if you want to set a timer for 30 seconds or a minute or whatever, but I'm trying to give you something to help you fill the space, right? To fill that uncomfortable space before you reach for something else to try and fill that space, right? allowing that space to be there. Because in doing this, we're not necessarily filling it. We are stilling ourselves by breathing and then just repeating to ourselves, Aham Prema. And that is a way of loving on those parts that are struggling, that are sore, that hurt, right? Aham Prema, Aham Prema, Aham Prema, Aham Prema. Just repeat it. Just keep repeating it. And you'll find that it's something you can even repeat, you know, like when you're driving your car or whatever. And I find it to be a very, very calming mantra. And it's a very simple mantra. It's not complicated. It's not like the Gayatri mantra or something. It's not complicated. Aham Prema. That's it. Now, if you're not comfortable with Sanskrit, you can try, you can just say this over to these 3 sentences over and over again. I am love. I am loved. I am loving. I am love. I am loved. I am loving. I am love. I am loved. I am loving. I am love. I am loved. I am loving. And you just repeat that over and over again. And if you want to, as you're sitting there, if you want to close your eyes, you can, you know, either imagine your younger self, or you could just imagine that part of you that hurts. And if there's an age that's associated with that wound, you know, the age at which something happened to you, you can take that younger version of yourself and put your arm around that younger version of yourself and have that younger version of yourself repeat it with you. Aham Prema. I am love. I am loved. I am loving. I am love. I am loved. I am loving. And repeat that to that part of yourself, or repeat that to your heart. Imagine breathing that into your heart, pouring those words into your own heart. And that's a way to pause the space and to bring some calm into what might be difficult, because we're so unused to quiet and rest and space in this world right now. And particularly coming off of COVID, where everybody's like stuck inside with each other, and, you know, people are working from home and kids are at home from school. And now we've got kids they've had to quarantine some, and, you know, maybe you're doing a hybrid of working between the house and online, and there's just never any quiet, you know, there's never space. So maybe you do this when you're in the car. Maybe that's where you have space, but rest and space. Okay. Day 8, rest and space. Aham Prema. I am love. I am loved. I am loving. Pour that like warm honey onto yourself. Okay. Pour that onto those spots. Take that into those difficult, uncomfortable moments. We need to learn to be comfortable with the uncomfortable spaces within ourselves and within our lives, right? And this is practice for that. So it's been a little bit of a longer one today, day 8, Monday. I wish you the best. And yeah, so we'll keep going. Mwah! Have a good one.